Hey guys, welcome back to yet another episode of Indie Choice Picks. Now I know I've been away for a while. I've been doing a lot of moved into a new place, got to get everything all set up. But I'm back. I got some new interviews with you coming in the next few weeks. First up is Ben Fusilier. I just call him Ben. He is the creator of Outlaw Knights, and if you don't know who he is, I think we've had him on the show about two other additional times, but this time is very significant because he just destroyed his Indiegogo campaign of Outlaw Knights, which is now currently in demand on Indiegogo. So if you want to get your hands on that, check it out in the link in the description. It'll be there for all you indie comic book craving people. But before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that thank you for subscribing to the channel and for watching these amazing interviews with these amazing artists. It's been a lot of fun, and we're gonna keep the ball going. We're gonna keep it going. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please make my day and subscribe to the channel. Leave some comments. We're gonna try to make this YouTube channel a little bit more bigger with more live streams and bringing on artists and just having a little bit more fun than what the usual play has been. So without further ado, I'm bringing to you Ben, the creator of Outlaw Knights. You guys enjoy. Ben, back for round three, man. Glad to see you back on the show. You're doing your comic book, man. Tell the audience, this is our third round, so I'm pretty sure they're pretty familiar with who you are and what it is you're doing here. But in case people aren't familiar with what it is you do, go ahead. Mike is yours. Tell them about you and your comic, Outlaw Knights.
Hell yeah, thank you so much. Well, I am the writer and creator of Outlaw Knights, Genesis of a Renegade, which is currently in demand on Indiegogo.
Awesome.
And Outlaw Knights is this is going to be the first of hopefully 6 issues, though it may end up being more like 7 or 8 issues, depending. But essentially, this kicks us off in the Outlaw Knights universe. It's the 31st century, and humanity has started colonizing into outer space. And it's very reflexive of the colonization of the New World from back in the day. So this is sort of like Manifest Destiny 2.0.
Right.
And the nations of Earth are all at each other's throats, competing over territory and resources, and it's very hectic. And in the midst of all this, our hero, Cyrus Lawson, is essentially trying to get away from a lot of the drama. He has settled on a small, out-of-the-way colony called Therese, and he's working there as sort of a security militiaman, trying to be kind of a small town hero. But that dream is pretty much ripped right from under him because the pirates of the ship known as Hazard are invading the settlement looking for a special piece of data. And this data is going to lead them to a treasure that's going to turn everything on its head. So essentially, push comes to shove, Cyrus is kidnapped by these pirates. So he's going to have to learn how to survive in the underworld of the 31st century and overcome his very naive sense of right and wrong.
I like space pirates. I mean, no one can really say no to space pirates. That's like the best thing. You have space, which is like you have this infinite area where like a lot of it is unexplored, a lot of it is unexplained, and then you just kind of throw pirates in there just for shits and giggles and see what's going to happen. So that's that's
Hell
pretty
yeah.
cool. So you have a subtitle now called Genesis of a Renegade. You didn't have that before.
Yeah. Essentially, I wanted to be able to designate this as the first issue, and I thought like just calling it issue number one was kind of lame, you
Right.
know?
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. So gave it a name. Is it going to be just kind of like Genesis of a Renegade for all 6 issues, or is each issue going to have its own subtitle?
Oh, each issue is going to have its own
Okay.
subtitle.
Okay. So you've been working on it for how long now?
Well, I've been bouncing the idea around in my mind for a good 10 years.
Yeah. Right.
But in terms of like working on the comic, we've been working on it for about a year and a half now.
Right.
And yeah.
So I'm trying to pull up the Indiegogo right now. I'm seeing like your old ones from November of last year.
Oh,
You said it
God.
was in demand, right?
Yep.
Oh, can't seem to find it.
Oh,
Uh,
no.
that's okay. I'll find it, or you can send me the link on Twitter. That way, I can link it in the description of the video. So, you ran a campaign last year, November. Wasn't really successful. Am I
No,
right?
not at
Yeah.
all.
I think you got to about I don't know 30%. I mean, you gave it your all, and I would say 30% versus 0% is actually very good in my book. So I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
you kind of learn from those things. My last interview was with, well, not my last, probably like my last 3 interviews was with a guy named Joseph King. He does Slaughter Squad, and I think this guy ran his
Oh, yeah.
campaign 3 times before he actually got it right. And when he actually got it right, he's actually crushing stretch goals right now. So the guy, he's really doing something good. So I mean, a lot of people, they kind of beat themselves up when they don't get that first campaign right. They don't make the goal. They just kind of give up and just kind of step away for a second. But the real money goes towards people who try it 2, 3, sometimes even 4 or 5 times, and they get to those stretch goals to where they go, wow, I only asked for, I don't know, 5,000. I'm sitting here handling 8, 9, $10,000 of people who want to buy my book. So that's where the real fight comes in. So
Oh,
um,
yeah.
a lot of indie comic book artists, they need to understand, like, this is not a hobby. It is not a hobby, because if you treat it like a hobby, it'll pay you like a hobby. You need to treat your shit like a business, because it's going to pay you back like it's a business.
Yep.
Simple as that. So your campaign back in November didn't quite stick, but when did you launch your second campaign?
We launched, I believe it was at the tail end of March.
Okay.
Um, and I had decided, I just hit the ground running after that last campaign with trying to get my presence more known on places like YouTube and
Right,
stuff.
right.
I started going on way more interviews, and it has made all the difference in the world.
When you get your face out there, that's when you start to kind of see things starting to unfold. Because when you're selling a comic book, you have to understand that now it's basically um, you're selling kind of like yourself, but people kind of want to know who they're buying from.
Yeah.
So when you kind of take off the mask on Twitter and stop using like avatars and stuff like that, and just kind of get people to see your face or even just hear your voice, um, it becomes a little bit more of a what's the word I'm looking for? Personal kind of deal. When people
Yeah.
are like, oh yeah, this guy did that. This is great. I'm gonna go buy his book. So you are in. Okay, so I think I found it. It says here that you crushed it. $7,000 out of 6,900.
Yep.
And you just ended it on June 30th, which was probably like a little less than 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Fantastic. So now you are in demand. Your book got funded. What is the next step for you, Ben?
Well, I've been in talks with Render Contender, our artist, and we were hammering out a schedule, and it looks like we'll have the pages done for the 25-page book by November. So hopefully we can start shipping out a lot earlier than March. But I set March as the shipping date as sort of a fail safe,
Right.
just in case something, some kind of snag comes up. Because I learned working in film that anything that can go wrong will go
Will go wrong.
wrong.
Yep, I know exactly what you mean, man. So you crushed it. You got this book to put together. How far along are you with completing the actual book?
We've got 9 pages done. Um, the full right now the book is going to be 25 pages long, but if we can hit 10K, we're going to extend that out to 50 pages.
Oh, okay. Look at you. So you got some stretch goals set in place then.
Absolutely.
You want to go over some of those stretch goals besides what you just said, besides extending in the book to 50 pages? What can readers look forward to in terms of stretch goals?
Well, that's the main one I've set at the moment, but I've been thinking about if we can hit 15K, throwing in some sketch cards with every backer.
Right.
That's my hope for that.
And that's
Because I
usually, go ahead.
because I do have an artist that's currently working on sketch cards. So
Okay. That's usually like the best thing when you back a product, because I've backed so many books and now some they come in and I forget what it was, and then I open it up and realize that it was a stretch goal attached, and you get like stickers and sketch cards and sometimes even like cool little keychains to kind of rock the gear with, and it's actually a lot of fun. So a lot of people, they get more than what you actually paid for in terms of when you have those stretch goals out, and it's like Christmas in your mailbox. You just, oh, look, a book, and then you open it up and there's all this extra stuff that came with the book, and you're like, oh, this is cool. And then it's fun for me because I've backed well over 20, maybe even 30 projects, and some are coming in now, some are like still being delayed, but you never know when you're going to get a project that you backed and had a stretch goal. I'm just saying, it's so much fun.
Amen.
It's so much fun. So you're on track, man. Looks like you're really crushing the game here.
Hell yeah, man. The week we got funded, it was so bizarre because I think like at the beginning of that week, we were still like almost like 2,000 away from our goal.
Hmm.
And I was like pretty much I was trying to accept defeat at that point. I was like telling myself like, oh, it's fine, Ben, I'll relaunch. It'll be good, blah blah blah. And within 2 days, it just total reversal.
Right. And it happens. It happens. You don't know what the trigger is. You don't know why it happens. But I've seen people who have they've been less than half in their campaign, and they're 3 days in, or 3 days left in their campaign, and then last day of the campaign, somehow not only do they hit their goal, they actually surpass their goal by a few $1,000s, and no one knows what the contributing factor is in that. Sometimes people go hard on the last few days of their campaign. Others just kind of sit back and just start it again, and then out of nowhere, boom, you're fully funded with some extra cash from other people, and now in your back of your head, you're like, oh shit, I got to get this done. Okay. Because I see people get backlash where they're like, they didn't think they were going to get funded, but then they come to me and they're like, Will, we got funded and we have a lot of work to do. Can I come on the show? And I'm like, yeah, man. You got a lot. We got a lot to explain here. So it's really funny when people. It's kind of like that good problem to have when you get funded, and then in the back of your head, they're like, "Oh shit, I gotta hire artists. I gotta get this stuff done. I gotta get colorists. I gotta get people working on this thing because I gotta get this thing done, printed, and out to my backers in this amount of time." And it's a fun problem, but boy, is it stressful.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, see, I lucked out in that I managed to lock down a pretty solid way before we launched.
Right.
So, and I had them working on pages that I was paying them out of pocket with. So, you know,
Yeah, you get.
it's
Sometimes you gotta pay out of pocket, because I know there's some artists out there who just kind of like, and I don't know, people come to me with these questions, I guess because I have a show. I don't know why, but if you have any questions, I'm always here to help you guys out. I have had people ask me like, "Hey, should I just do some pages for free for the guy I'm working for until the campaign gets fully funded?" And in my head, it's like, well, it's not really for certain the campaign is going to get funded. If you go with that
Yeah.
route, you might never get paid. You know, so artists, they work hard. They work extremely hard. I'm one of them, and it's like, yeah,
Oh
no,
yeah.
these pages, they don't take like a day. Sometimes they take 2 to 3 days, especially if you're working and you got a family and kids. These things take a lot of time and a lot of effort. And me being OCD, if I discover a new technique on page 3, then I got to go back and apply that new technique to page 1 and 2, so that way they're all consistent. That's just me. So I take longer when it comes to drawing and perfecting pages. It's annoying, but my clients love it when I just make all the pages look the same. I may know like a little filter here, I may know a little technique there. If I apply it on one page, I got to go back and apply it to another. But it's very tedious work. So I tell people, I mean, don't work for free. Give them a number. $20, $30 a page if you're penciling. If you're trying to color or do a whole rendition or stuff like that, then you know what is your cost for your time? What do you think you're worth to do these pages? And if it's
Yeah.
really important to the creator or the writer of the story, they'll pay you for that. No problem.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because I pretty much I didn't want any debts hanging over my head, so it was like I just made sure that I commissioned pages whenever I had the money available, and we just right off the bat, I wanted to make sure that they were paid immediately after.
Yep. And that's how you do it. So usually for everybody out there who's watching, if you have a book and you don't have a lot of money, just take it one step at a time.
Yeah, you don't need to rush to the finish.
No, because it's actually a marathon. It's not a race. It's not a sprint. It's this life where you're doing comics. It's probably for most people a lifelong thing, because you're going to go ahead. You're going to do one comic. You're going to see you're successful. You're going to see you have all these readers reading your book. What are you going to do? Just, I did my book, I'm done. No, you're going to go out and do more work. You're going to get out and do a sequel or a prequel or do a completely different story. This is a marathon. This is for the people who really want it. So you just can't really stop or rush through it, because some people have been planning their campaigns for years, literally years,
Yep.
before they even start forming a first draft of the script. And that's really telling if you've been working on a story for 10 years and you're still on it before that campaign even launches.
Yep.
Very important. So you got it. You're in demand, guys. If you guys want to get a copy of Outlaw Knights, go pick it up. It is on in demand. I don't think I've gotten my copy yet, but I will.
Hell yeah.
Because space pirates. You can't really go wrong with that. That's
I
not how that
mean,
works.
Render Contender and Press Colors, I haven't seen work of this like quality in a while.
And it's a different kind of work. Texture, because I think you showed me pages where you had old artwork done, and then
Yeah.
you had a comparison where you had new artwork done. So it's over time your artwork has gotten, or your artist has gotten better. Or did you switch artists?
We didn't switch artists. We switched colorists. The original guy we had, he was a really good guy. It was just that the colors were kind of flat and stuff. And Sierra Whiskey on Twitter recommended Press Colors to me. And I was looking at samples of his work, so I was like, you know what? I'll just commission one page from him just to see what he can do. And the minute I got that page back, I was like, "Oh shit, this is my colorist," you know?
Right. Yeah, because I'm looking at it now. And don't worry, audience, you'll get to see it. Don't worry about it. The colors are more vibrant. They're a lot brighter than what they originally were before.
And there's way more depth.
Yes, exactly. There's way more depth. And you're seeing a lot of, okay, let me see if I can share the screen, because I don't think it's fair. Give me a second. Let me see when you can see the screen. Got it?
It just says you've started sharing screen. It doesn't have a screen on it.
Give it a second. I think it's still trying to figure out what it want to do. Got it now?
Yeah.
All right. So like this scene right here where they're running through the tube, like you can tell the hue and the colors are there and the reflection on the floor and all this stuff. Like this is really cool. This art is very, very vibrant than what you originally had before.
Oh yeah.
This is really good. I like it. And then down here, you can kind of see where he's picking up the sword. The arm of the chair has all these metallic features and grooves and notches and stuff like that. You can really feel like the cool metal that's going on here with this scene.
Absolutely.
This actually looks really good. I remember you showed me this picture in our first interview, and the colors
Yep.
weren't as colorful as this. So I can't do a comparison now. But if you go back and watch our first interview, guys, you'll see the first rendition of this, and then you can see it here. It's actually really nice.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we're coming down to the end of our time together, Ben. So, like always, I like to ask people, especially those people who have come on a show, tried a campaign, didn't quite make it, came back again, and then completely crushed it. What's the one piece of advice you can give other creators when they're running an Indiegogo, so that way they can make a successful campaign?
The best thing, number one, if you fail the first time around, don't beat yourself up about it or anything like that. Just kind of try to learn, like look at like what you did or what you didn't do, and just develop a strategy. And best thing you can do, really, the internet comic community is booming right
Yes,
now.
yes, it
Got a
is.
bunch of channels include like yours, you know. So I
Mhm.
mean, there's always people out there to help. So it's like, just don't be shy. Ask people like, hey, can I come on your show sometime? Stuff like that. Um, and try to have some fun with it.
I always welcome people onto the show. Doesn't matter who you are, where you're at. It doesn't matter to me if you're working on a project, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a comic book. It can be whatever, as long as you're an indie developer and you're trying to get some what they call clout or whatever. I'm willing to have you on my show. My show isn't the biggest thing on the internet right now. Hopefully, one day it will be, but it gets you out there, it gets your face recognized, and as long as I keep on arguing with people on Twitter over stupid shit, the more recognition you will get for some reason. Like I've seen a jump in my subscribers on YouTube since I like got back into Twitter, and I'm like, yeah, no, I just point out people's stupid shit, and people are like, well, he sounds right, and I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, logically speaking, none of what's going on makes sense, but if you go against the grain on social media, you're likely to get some type of recognition. People follow you on like other platforms or like YouTube or Instagram, stuff like that. So, I mean, it works, but you know, the level of stupid on Twitter, just don't get involved if you can. Just kind of like lay low.
I just recently just started checking out because I was getting way too into it.
You gotta check out. I got my friend back in LA. She started getting into Twitter, and like she's just like 24/7. I'm like, you need to probably put your phone down because you're going a bit crazy right now. She'll text me, so like, oh, this dude on Twitter made me so mad, and I'm like, you probably need to put your phone down if you're getting mad over Twitter. Like this, there's no reason to get mad over idiots on Twitter. That's not that's not healthy. Just
Yeah, it's like when the negatives start outweighing the positives, it's time to take a step back.
right, exactly. Just kind of cool it back and just kind of let that fester for a while because these people they come and go. You're gonna get one person who just pops up who just starts being a dick for no reason. I mean, what are you gonna do? Deal with the entire world of dicks? No, you can't. It's impossible. Just let that person be and just leave it alone. But we're getting off topic. But thank you, Ben, for coming on to the show, man. Real congratulations on smashing that goal. I mean, it feels great, doesn't it?
Oh God, yeah, it's
Yeah.
a huge relief.
And I mean, if you didn't make it this time, you're probably going to try it again over and over again until you got it.
Absolutely.
You can't really try it 3 times. I mean, if you had 3 times trying it, you might as well just go for broke and just keep on going until you actually get there. That's the
Oh,
way
I
I see it.
mean, yeah, it's just all the pieces fell into place for this project, and it was too good to leave it to let it collect dust.
Right. You can. I mean, if you really have a story you want to tell then you do by all means get it out to the people, because if you think it's worth it, then the people reading the story will feel as though that it's worth it as well. So that's the gift we give our people. It's the gift of storytelling to escape the crazy Twitter-filled world of unnecessary drama for 22 pages, so that way you can enjoy a nice afternoon and maybe have a drink while you're doing it too. So that's the way I see it.
Hell yeah.
All right, Ben. Well, thank you, man, for coming on to the show. Guys, if you want to get your hands on Outlaw Knights, you can look into the description of this video. Go to the Indiegogo page. It is in demand. Pick out a nice little tier. I know what I'm going to get already, so go ahead. The book will be done by, you say, March 2021, Ben?
That's when we're hoping to start shipping. But that's kind of a fail-safe date. I'm hoping to get it out sooner.
Right. All right, guys. Well, there you go. And if you follow him on Twitter, I have his handle as a Fuselier Ben. Is that?
Yeah, it's a FUSELIER Ben
on Twitter. So he always posts all these cool snapshots of the pages and stuff like that. So go check him out if you want to go back to project, if you want to keep up with his work. Really cool stuff. So thank you, Ben, once again for coming on the show, and congratulations on a job well done.
Thank you so much, bud.
All right, man. Well, I will see you guys on Twitter, and remember, just stay out of trouble, okay? I'll do my best, but I'm not making any promises here. All right, buddy. You take care.
You take care, bud.
Bye. And that is it for this episode of Indie Choice Picks. Guys, we made it to season 3. I'm excited. I am so stoked to get new creators onto this show. If you are an indie comic book creator or a writer or whatever, as long as it's indie, I want you guys to come onto the show. I am now taking submissions to have guests onto this show, and you guys are all welcome to come in and join me on the show. I think I said show more than once. Anyways, you can find me on Twitter at Heroic Studios, or you can hit me up on Instagram, Will at Heroic Studios. Both of my tags and links to my social media is right there. So please let me know if you guys are interested in coming onto the show. I will see you guys next time with another fun-filled, exciting